Flosstube extra right now because you probably noticed it's a little early for me to do my usual monthly video. I have something exciting to talk about. I was gonna wait and do this video a little later, but then I got some stuff in today and I was just too excited. I couldn't wait anymore. Okay, so a little backstory on this. So I'm going to title this about, it's my princess project is what I've been calling it. So what started this idea is I found these patterns on Tilton Crafts, and it was like a bunch of the Disney princesses in a winter environment. So I'll show a couple of those patterns up here so you can see what I'm talking about. And at first I just collected a few, like my favorite ones. And then of course my brain got obsessed with it. And so then I had to get all of them. But then I was like, well, what if I got other patterns that were, you know, of the princesses? So I started getting other patterns of the same ones. But then I was like, well, there's some other ones I want to add because now I've seen these other groupings. So, okay, all of that to say is like, right now I have 8 groups of patterns with varying numbers of the Disney princesses in them. And some of them are very large. And I'm gonna go through and talk about, because I also wanted project bags. So this brings me to another part of my story. Amber, her channel is, she's Rogue Mama Stitcher here on YouTube and on Instagram. I've seen her make some really cool stockings with velvet and all this stuff, and I'm like, that looks really complicated to sew. So maybe I could get her to make me some project bags. Well, Amber hadn't made that sort of stuff before, and she didn't feel really confident that she wanted to go ahead and do that, and that's fine. I understand. My sewing skills are rudimentary, and honestly, I probably could make project bags, but it's just usually more than I want to tackle. Plus, just you got to make them nice and put linings, and I just often do not have the patience for that. I just don't. And you do cross stitch. It's like it's different. It's different. So she suggested that I ask a friend of hers, Erin. Her channel is Stay at Home Stitcher, and I will link both of their channels down below. She made me some really awesome project bags. So I picked out fabric on Etsy that I felt kind of went with each of the patterns. So I get to sort of have these little custom bags, and I've got all this like extra fabric from those so I can make extra little things, maybe some grime guards. I could probably sew that, right? Big scrunchy thing, sure. Yeah, I'm sure. That's easy, right? Right, sure. We'll deal with that when we deal with that. I've got some ideas on needle minders, but I haven't gotten any of the stuff for that yet, so you know, I'll try to remember to show that off later if I get things in and on my channel. So anyway, my rambling, and I have a piece of tape. I just opened the box for these earlier, and apparently I got a piece of tape on me, and now, okay, it's gone. Sorry, brain. Yeah. So anyway, let's get to talking about the patterns, because I have 8 pattern sets from different designers, and they have varying numbers in the sets. So I'm just going to kind of go through, and I'm probably going to pretty much show pictures of Snow White, because I think the only 2 princesses that are in every grouping are Snow White and Ariel. And I'm, of course, starting with Snow White because I, of course, have to do it in release order because this is the way my brain works. And it's like, well, we can't do them out of order. Heaven forbid. But I'm excited because I've got some more obscure ones in there. They don't have as many patterns, but I've got, say, Ilanwi from The Black Cauldron and Giselle from Enchanted. I've even got Vanellope from Wreck-It Ralph in there. So I've got some of the like not as well known ones, which they're not necessarily represented in every group, but they do have a few patterns, so I thought that was fun. And then I have some which aren't really, I guess, technically princesses, but I'm just kind of like grouping them together, you know, like Wendy and Tinkerbell, and but whatever, it's fine. It's just a general heading. It's not, you know, don't have to be nitpicky about it. Okay, this first bag I want to show off. I have this awesome, well, from what I heard from Erin, it was very annoying fabric. So this, let's see, we've got Rapunzel, Snow White, Belle, Ariel, and Sleeping Beauty, looks like. Oh, and Jasmine. And it's got like little pals and pops and Princess Power. So it's sort of reminds me of like comic book fabric. So this is going to actually hold 2 pattern groups because it's the 2 smaller patterns. So I'm doing the figure patterns by Abby Sue. So I'll put a picture up here of the Snow White one. So you've probably seen Abby Sue's pattern. She's a pretty popular designer. So she pretty much has one for all of the princesses I'm doing, except for Vanellope. So maybe she could do one of those too, and then have all of them, because I'd love to have a full set. I always like having a full set. So there's that one, and then I have patterns from Pixcross, and you can see those look, they're more like they're video game patterns. Kind of look like the character portraits from Kingdom Hearts. I think they might be those ones from that actually, but that's definitely more the video game look, and that's why I kind of wanted something that, you know, comic book, video games, sort of like more contemporary. I thought that would be fun look. So those 2 are going in here because they are fairly small patterns, and I just have their floss. I don't have any of the fabric for anything yet, but I just have their floss on. You know, you can see there's not a huge amount of colors, and then the fabric will be fairly small. So I figured I could put both of them in here, and that wouldn't be too much of a problem. So there's that one. And I'm sorry, Erin, that this fabric was annoying. I didn't know. I got it from Etsy. I have no idea. Okay, this next one I'm using for my patterns from Donna Stitch on Etsy, and so I'll put that up. And it's a really cute, almost kind of like chibi look, and I kind of decided on this fabric because it kind of has the stained glass look, and I felt like that was a similar feel to the pattern. And of course I'm doing 8 sets right now. I have more sets. Yeah, I know. It's a bit much, but I have some other sets that look, that there's some stained glass sets, and I thought, you know, oh, then I'll use this for those patterns next. But yeah, this one's really cool. It's got, I tried to get fabric that had a lot of the princesses on there because, you know, I'm going to be changing out. So this one has Mulan on there, and Tiana, and Merida, and Mulan. So this one has a lot of them on there, and I really liked that it had a good variety of them on there. So yeah, that's for the Donna Stitch patterns, which those are deceptively large. They're like 240 by 250. Like, they're big. So it looks, oh, that's not that. No, it's big. And one of the colors that is sort of like the outline of everything, it's the teal sort of color. For the Snow White one, I need 21 skeins of this color. And no, it's not one that they sell in a cone. I looked. I was hoping, because that is like a base background color of all of those, and I have 10 of those that I'm planning to do. So I estimate it's gonna be somewhere in the neighborhood of like 200 skeins of this color, and I'm just like, what? So if you have any spare 3808 and want to send it to me, I'm totally cool with that. Yeah, I think that one is really cute. I think those will be fun, and those will be easier in a way because they're very much like blocks of color. So I think they'll go fairly fast, and it's not a full coverage thing. The white that's on that pattern is not stitched. Okay, so this one, this is for the patterns that started all this madness. This is for my Tilton Crafts patterns. So I'll put that one up there. But I feel like it has kind of the same feel where it has a lot of the white, like the snow, and then you have color in here on each of the individual princesses that you see pictured. So I thought it kind of had a similar look to those patterns. Now, you would think on these patterns that what you're stitching is just the circular part. No, the pattern is square. It fills out the edges with just white. I am not stitching that. I don't care if it's square. And it's just like, there's no other colors. It's just white basically all the way around the other colors. And I'm just like, so I took all that out and it was quite a bit. I think something like 18,000 stitches that I don't have to do. And I'm like, great. Awesome. I will take it. So this is the one that started it all. And yeah, I'm not doing all that white. I mean, I guess if you just really, really want it to be square, but I don't care. Don't. If it saves me that much time stitching, yeah. Okay, so this one is for some from Pain Free Crafts, and the artist is Star Masayume. I think I'm saying that right. And I actually saw these patterns from another Flosstuber that I watch, Tori. Her channel is Hobby Stories, and I saw her working on Cinderella and Rapunzel. So I went to their site and I found that there was like quite a few of these. So I'll put up the Snow White one that I'm going to start with. And so see, I've picked out ones that have sort of that same, I picked out some fabrics that has the same like chibi look. It's just so cute. The little faces, oh, little faces. So I thought this would kind of go with those patterns. This is another one. So there's a lot of white around this pattern, you can see. And some of it does kind of go into the pattern a little bit. But I decided, yeah, I really don't. There's a lot of white around it. And I think I'm going to do what, Tori, if you're watching, I'm going to do what you're doing and taking that out, because when I took it out in my program, like marked off those stitches, it was 40% of the pattern. What? That is far too much white on white stitching. There's no way I'm doing that. No way. So yes, I think I had mentioned this on a Flosstube, and Tori asked if I was going to take out the white, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I will. And then I took it out, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing that. I think most people would agree. Yeah. Okay, so this one is another one that's going to have two patterns in it, and it's two of my smaller. They're not as small as the other ones I'm doing, but they're not huge, like 200 by 300 full coverage pieces. So the two I'm putting in here, I'm doing patterns by Brooks Books, and she has this Fairy Tale Princess series, and it's the gowns of them, and I just thought it was really pretty. It had beads and specialty flosses, and they just look really neat. Now, it is a little weird because it just sort of looks like dresses floating in air because she didn't put characters into them. But I found an interesting, not workaround, but I found an interesting addition to that. So there's another pattern maker that I follow. I haven't done any of their patterns yet. I've collected some. I haven't gotten a chance to start them. It's called Make It Pink. And they're doing this series of Sailor Moon patterns that I've been getting. I was really excited. So I was looking through their free patterns on their website, and they had, I'll put a little picture of that, of basically looks like little dress forms that fit in the necks of the dresses. So it looks like they're sitting on a little dress form as opposed to just floating there. And also like little tables for some of the stuff and little shelves for the crowns, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I definitely want to add that to there. So I'm excited about that because I was still going to do them, but I was like, I think I will like this better. It looks more finished to me. I don't, there's not anything wrong with the pattern, the way it was charted, but I really do think that it's a cool addition. I'd like to do that. Oh, so here's the bag. So I'm doing the Brooks Books one, which has I mainly got this because the other pattern I'm putting in here is from Thread of Magic, and it's sort of like a different artistic interpretation of the princesses, and it has a lot of back stitching, so it's kind of different than a lot of the other ones I was doing, and I just really liked the way the art looked, and I felt like this had some of the same sketch-like quality. So a little bit more of a stretch probably with this fabric, but I just really liked this fabric and I thought it looked cool, so I wanted it. And I was like, it'll work for those two, sure, why not? Yeah, it's cool. It's very pretty. And you know, there's Snow White, what I'm starting with. So yeah, I showed you the Brooks Books and the Thread of Magic patterns. If you want links to any of these patterns or sets or anything, you can't find them, just you can write a comment down below or send me a message on Instagram, and I'll help you find where they all are, because as far as I know, they're still all available to purchase. So this last bag is the one I'm really excited about, because so the art on here is the art that I'm stitching for some of these. There's more on here than he has patterns available for. So this is also from Pain Free Crafts. The artist is Tim Shoemate, and these are just really cool. I guess it's almost like a pinup style princesses. So I'll put Snow White up here, and I like this pattern because it's kind of fun. It's like Snow White mixed with Betty Boop. So it's kind of fun. But some of the other ones, like the Elsa one down here, I have that pattern, and Snow White, and you can see the Merida one. So those are all charted out, and I'm from seeing these other ones on here, I'm kind of hoping that they'll do some more of them, because there's one for Tiana and Jasmine and Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, and those aren't patterns yet on the site. So I'm kind of hoping that at some point, maybe, because I need more patterns to do. I totally need more patterns to do. What are you talking about? But yeah, I was really excited about this fabric because it is like literally the same art as I'm going to be stitching. So I was like, oh, that's so cool. So it really, really matches. This one really matches. Yeah. But I love these bags. They're great. You can already see I put my bins of floss, because for most of these I'm doing bins because they have a lot of floss. A lot of floss, because they're mostly very, very large patterns. This one I will be stitching all the background and everything because it's an actual color and not just white. So I'm really excited about this. It's going to take me probably the rest of my natural life to finish these things. But I don't know, it's just a project that I got really excited about. I got really attached to. Oh, I think I forgot to show you in this one, Erin made me an extra little accessory bag, because this is the one for my Brooks Books, and it has a bunch of beads and Krennic and fancy stuff, and so it gives me a little extra something to put those in, which is cool. But I'm really excited about these bags. I'm probably not going to start stitching any of these until January, so you won't see them on my channel for a little while. I've got some other things I want to wrap up before I really, like, mainly the Kingdom Hearts test stitch. I'm getting there. I'm actually on the 12th part. I just started that today. So I've got the 12th and 13th parts, and then I will be done. So I'm hoping to be done mid-December, hopefully, as long as I don't get too distracted. Although today I got distracted doing a video, which I wasn't really planning to do, but then I got these in the mail and I got so excited, and I've just been wanting to tell people about this huge project, and it's kind of hard to just explain to somebody in a message. So I was thinking visuals, I could like show things and it would make more sense, maybe. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little extra video this month, and you will see these projects in the near future. Maybe not for a couple months, unless I decide to get started early, because I might, who knows. Although I don't have my fabric for any of them, and I don't quite have all the floss yet, so that will keep me on track with other projects, I guess, for a little while. But what do you think? What are, what fabric, or sorry, what pattern grouping is your favorite one? Did you see any of them in here that you decided that you had to go off and do a few of them? Because I'm sure nobody's going to do as much as I'm doing, because nobody's that extra. Well, I'm sure there are some people, but I haven't met many. So yeah, just maybe write me a comment. What do you think? Do you think I have completely lost it? If not, just drop a line. Oh, this one I didn't even notice. This one has Vanellope on it. Okay, I'm excited about that because I haven't found a lot of stuff with her, and I'm just like, oh yay, Vanellope. It's the little things, right? It's the little things. All right, I will see you in my next video, which will probably come out next week after the first of the month. And then I can show you all the spooky stitching I've been working on, which is like completely different than this altogether. Other than that, I hope you're having a great day or evening or whenever you're watching this. And, like, comment, subscribe, and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye.